Well, this is quite an interesting one. So Keir Starmer rocked as first front bencher quits to attack Labour's Israel-Hamas policy as 5 more threaten to walk in a major revolt. And I'll get onto a documentary that I watched about the infiltration into the Labour Party from Jewish-backed organisations, Israel-backed organisations. So Imran Hussein quits the shadow front bench over Starmer's refusal to call a ceasefire in Israel and Gaza. Why hasn't he asked for a ceasefire? That's what everybody wants, isn't it? I mean, it does seem to me that basically that war will just go on and on and on. I don't think they're going to get anywhere either side. Both sides hate each other. Both sides blame the other side. And both sides have done bad stuff. But there it is. Labour frontbencher Imran Hussein resigns overnight in a major blow to Keir Starmer, while around 5 other frontbenchers are thought to be on resignation watch. We've heard of suicide watch, but resignation watch? Interesting. Hussein quits the shadow frontbench over Starmer's refusal to call for a ceasefire in Israel and Gaza, and you have to ask why. Hussein, who stepped down from his role as the shadow minister for the New Deal for Working People last night, said it had become clear that his view on Gaza differs substantially from that of the Labour leader. Now, I'm imagining that obviously Hussein is pro-Palestine, pro-Arab, pro-Muslim, just putting it out there. That's what I'm guessing. And I'm guessing that Keir Starmer is pro-Israel, okay? Never the twain should meet. And I watched a documentary going back some time ago, a 3-part thing, where somebody went undercover and basically a young person who wanted to get into the Labour Party. And they went to a lot of extra parties outside where you meet up with influential people. And it seemed like there was a lot of Jewish people there who were basically trying to groom people that were coming out of college to be sympathetic to Israel, to be sympathetic to Jewry and basically the Jewish needs, but predominantly Israel. And it was one of these things that if you showed interest, then you would be pushed forward. And it seems that the infiltration into the Labour Party from Israel interests, Jewish interests, is quite broad. But it's an interesting thing too, because at the end of the day, so has Islam crept into that party. It is quite an interesting party in so much as, a bit like the Conservative Party, are 3 parties within one, so's Labour. There was the communist side, the socialist side, and the slightly less socialist side, all right? So that's making it very simplified. But it does seem to me that you've got people in there of different faiths who, statistically speaking, aren't that keen on each other. Now, this guy who's just quit, I'm guessing, as I said, is pro-Muslim, pro-Palestine, pro-give us the land back that you've occupied, pro-turn the water, the electric, and all the rest of it on, and pro-stop bombing us. Whereas if Keir Starmer, who is corrupt in my view anyway, I mean, let's be looking at what he did for Jimmy Savile. That's just one thing. But the guy, I don't believe a word he says, and I think the man can be bought. I say I think, alleged, you know. But I would suggest that if the man won't call a ceasefire, it's because he can't. It's because the people that are lobbying him, guiding him, directing him, call it what you want, don't want a ceasefire. They want to carry on. There has been said that there's some interesting facts over the Gaza Strip about mining and stuff like that, mineral resources, etc., and something to do with a canal that I don't know much about. However, you have to ask, why won't Keir Starmer call this one out? And I'm going to put it down as basically his interests are to support Israel. And that's why he won't. But you'll never get him to say it. But obviously, I'm guessing that the other guy has worked this out, and his policy is to stand up for his side. And because Keir Starmer's not, he's found his position untenable, that's probably the word to use, and has decided to do the Frank Boff. But he's not the only one. There's quite a few people that have decided to walk because they're pro, and I'm not going to say they're pro-Hamas, all right? They do believe that basically the Israel should hand back the land, but that's their position. It's not my position. But there you go. Anyway, this will go on and on and on and on and on. And this will be the thing that distracts us. And while we're looking this way, so I'm sure something bad for us will be happening in the other direction. Still, there it is. This is nothing new. This is the way it's always been. But what's happened to Ukraine? You don't hear much about that, do you know? It's the latest thing, people. And while Ukraine is apparently still going ahead, although we've dropped that one, which is, I find interesting. It's like everything else, isn't it? I was going to compile a list of the latest things that I've been through, or that we've actually all been through in the last 5 years. And there have been a lot of the latest things. And they all get on board, and they're aggressive about it, and they're totally all over it, right? And then they move to the next thing and just drop it. Quite fickle. There it is. Anyway, what do you reckon? Do you reckon Keir Starmer's bought and paid for? Or do you think that he's not calling it out because he's been stubborn? Or do you think he's got some other reason? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in a bit.